Hey everybody, hope you're doing all right. Hope you had a good weekend. I wish I could ask how your weekend was, but I can't. So hopefully you guys did something fun or did something relaxing. I was kind of a delivery person, at least yesterday. Um, my graduate students and field technicians for the summer, they can't get on campus. And so I had to go to campus and grab a bunch of supplies and then drop it off at different people's houses so that they could continue working. So that's kind of it was kind of nice. It wasn't too busy. The roads are fairly slow paced, so that was kind of nice. Anyway, uh, little overview for you for this week of the things that I'd like you to complete to get the information on the eastern U.S. forests. So let's talk through those real quick. Um, so there's five general activities that you need to do. Um, One, watch the weekly video, which you're doing now, so you're almost done with number one. And then on Canvas, I've posted an introduction to the eastern U.S. forests. So we'll just go to the Canvas page right now. Let's go to the home page where all our weeks are. And so if you look under week 11, yours won't look exactly like this, but it'll look similar. So here's lecture for week 11. You've got this first one is a link to the video that I made. It's like a 5 to 10 minute video. I forget, maybe 7 minutes. Just introducing you to the eastern U.S. forests and kind of the structure we're going to use to learn about those forests a little bit. And then right under that are the slides that are in that presentation. So if you want those separately, those slides are available to you. So that's number 2. Again, short video, so you can get done with numbers 1 and 2 pretty quickly. Number 3 will take a little more time, so that's doing some calculations and answering some questions related to the different forest cover types that occur in the eastern U.S. So let me just show you that quickly on Canvas. So that's going to be this activity, Eastern U.S. forests. So if you open that up, it has just a little bit of an introduction here that you can read through. But then most of the material you'll need are in these links down here at the bottom. So the first one is a Word document that has more information that you'll need to complete this activity. And you can just enter all of your answers and the data in this sheet and save it, and that's what you can upload to submit for this assignment. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just open it up real quick so you can see it. Sorry, I didn't have Word open, so hang on here. Sorry, you can fast forward a bit. Okay. So this is the activity you're going to have to create. Let me zoom in here a little bit. All right. So again, it's that same introduction here at the top. And then here's the 3 main steps that you'll have to complete. And it kind of walks you through the steps in general. And then you've got to answer these 8 questions that are here. And so you can just type in your answers after these questions. If you type your answers in here, if you'll make them a different color or at least italicize your answers so I can see them easily, that would be helpful. And then there's this table that you have to fill out. And this is the bulk of what your work will be. So I guess I'll walk you through this table real quickly. You have to calculate the relative production of 10 different forest cover types in each state, or not in each state, in 10 different states. And you have to enter the top 3 forest cover types in each of these physiographic regions. So just give you a feel for what are the most likely forest cover types I would see if I were going to go to each of these physiographic regions. And then you have to estimate the mean annual temperature, mean annual precip, and the fire regime for this state that you're looking at. So you can see I start with Maine and it kind of works south, goes down to Georgia, and then back up around Yeah, there's not really a rhyme or reason to the order that I put these in. But anyway, you have to complete that information. So let me show you where you need to get data for that. So back to Canvas, this first link is that Word document we were just looking at. The second link is just a link to a PDF that has 3 different maps. One of them's of mean annual temperature, one of them's mean annual precip, and one of them is the fire regime of the eastern US. Again, I'll just open this so I can talk through it. Again, sorry I didn't have this ready. There we go. All right, so here's the physiographic regions that we're going to be talking about. I explained those more in the introductory video. And then here's the maps. So here's the fire regime, at least historical fire regime. And I broke it into 4 categories. So you can record which category applies to the state you're looking at. And then you can estimate mean annual temperature, mean annual precip. If this top one is mean annual precip, and so let's say, for example, well, one of the states you're going to do is Georgia. And you can see Georgia falls into 2 different categories of mean annual precip. One of them is 1250 to 1500, and the other one is 1000 to 1250 millimeters. Just kind of take the average or the middle of that range and report that in the table, and that's fine. We're just getting a ballpark of how climate and disturbance vary across the eastern US. Okay, so that's for filling in some of the data in the table, and then the rest of it, you're going to need this production_all Excel spreadsheet. So again, we'll have to pause here for a second while this opens. All right, hold on. It's coming. Maybe. Everybody's computer in our house has been slow today. My daughter's trying to get online for classes, and that failed once already. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet. There are 10 different states listed, and then the physiographic region that each state represents is also listed in this top cell. And then there's approximately 10 forest cover types listed for each state, as well as the production, the annual production of those forests. And so you're going to have to calculate the relative production of these forests and then take the top 3. And the top 3 is what you'll record in that spreadsheet or in the table that's in that activity. If you're not sure how to go about calculating the relative production of these different forest cover types, you can go back to the Canvas page, and I made a short video tutorial that will walk you through that. So again, under week 11, there's this tutorial for calculating relative production. So if you're not sure how to do that, watch that tutorial, and that'll fairly quickly, I think that's just a few-minute video to walk you through how to do that. So after you calculate that and estimate mean annual temperature, precip, and disturbance, you can fill out that table, answer those 8 questions. That is due on Wednesday night. I think I made it due at 9 p.m. So I think that might take an hour or 2 to get done. Then after you submit that, I will post a video Wednesday night that kind of takes that information and then tries to apply it to thinking about the eastern forest and how they differ and how the forest cover types vary across that region. All right. So this is kind of a 2-part week where you have to do the first part before it doesn't really unlock the second part, but I'll put that second part on Canvas Wednesday. There will be a short quiz associated with the slides in the video I post on Wednesday, but I'm going to keep that relatively short. All right, I'll try to keep it just maybe a 5-question quiz or something like that. Okay, so now let me go back to our weekly overview. So that takes care of number 3. Number 4, well, I guess that takes care of 4 as well. So after I post those slides on Wednesday, again, there will be a quiz posted. That will be due by Sunday night. So do that quiz by Sunday. Again, it's going to be a 5-question quiz. I don't think it'll take a ton of time. And then the 5th thing you have to do, this is kind of what we're going to do in lab this week, is to have you have some more progress made on your final project. So your final project, remember, was going to be a poster. We won't do a poster now. What I'm going to have you do is a short presentation. You're going to record yourself giving a presentation, and you can do PowerPoint and have different slides and kind of walk through them like I'm doing right now. And so we'll talk about that a little more in a couple weeks, the details of that, and I will help you figure out, the software you might need to record yourself doing that video. But what I'd like you to have do this week is the climate section of your final project. So let me show you what that looks like. So let's go back to Canvas again. And if you go under assignments, you should see the final project assignment. And that has all of the information you need. Well, hopefully it has all the information you need on how to complete the different sections of what was going to be your poster, but now will be a Canvas, or not a Canvas, a PowerPoint presentation. There's also a rubric down here, so we'll still follow that rubric pretty closely. I'll take a look at this and see if it needs any modification, but I don't think it does. So what I would like you to have done this week is this section labeled climate in that assignment description. And so that involves 2 things really. One, you have to have a climate diagram completed for the region you are investigating. And then 2, you need to have a short written description of the climate. So the climate diagram is nice because it's this visual representation of the climate, but it's also nice to have some some words and text describing that climate as well. And so I kind of talk about what I'd like to see in that description. But really, you're trying to get other people interested or intrigued in the region you're talking about. So if there's any really interesting or extreme weather patterns in the region you picked, like I would talk about that. Or let's say you picked the Amazon rainforest. You might talk about how much rain it gets relative to Colorado, because that kind of puts it in perspective for us, because it's so much wetter there than here. So maybe comparing the weather from one place to another, or talking about the extreme events, just something else to make it a little more interesting, describing what the climate is like of your region. So that's what I would like you to have done, your climate diagram, and like 2 to 3 sentences describing the climate of the region you are investigating. All right, so that's what I'd like you to have submitted by Sunday as well. All right, so let's go back to our weekly overview. So you've got several things due, just to highlight that again. You've got these calculations and questions you have to answer by Wednesday. You have to complete a quiz associated with slides that will be posted on Wednesday. They're not there yet, so don't go looking for them. And then you need to submit your climate diagram and a written description of the climate of your region, okay? That's all due, those last 2 things are due on Sunday. I do want to say, I'm trying to keep this relatively simple and straightforward for the assignments. What we're seeing with our kids' school is every teacher's putting so much into online teaching that right now it looks like their school's going to get harder rather than kind of stay the same or be a little bit easier given the circumstances. So I'm trying not to do that. If it feels like things are you're putting more time into this than you were when it was in class, let me know and I'll try to adjust. I want to be conscientious because, again, we're all still adjusting with how to work and how to get things done. So feel free to give me some feedback on that. But hopefully, I think this is a reasonable amount of work for this week. If you have any questions, let me know. But hopefully all the materials I've posted will walk you through everything you need to know. All right, thanks. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week.